Running a business comes with a lot of what ifs, but luckily there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Maze, are you guys in the best shape of your life?
Oh, man. I added about 17 pounds of muscle this off season.
What?
Yeah, man.
I added 17 pounds.
Oh.
Of muscle?
Muscle, though, right?
And is the best shape of your life round?
It's a shape.
Well, the question is, if you're part of the Illuminati and you're doing this show, is it really about muscle, or is it about I added 17 sources, or I added 17 new lines of communication, I added 17 vocal cords to help me do the show?
Tom, it's always about muscle, baby. It's always about muscle.
I've been cultivating mass, but luckily our robes that we wear are very slimming.
Yeah.
They're flowing.
You can't really tell what's going on under here in terms of shape.
It's like a muumuu.
Exactly. It's like when Homer started working from home and got a muumuu, and it all went to hell. Yes, that's what's going on over here at HQ.
Muscle Watch. I love Media Day purely to listen to NBA players talk about how they're in the best shape of their lives, or to the pound how much muscle they have added. And shouts to Lang Whitaker over at the Memphis Grizzlies, longtime NBA fixture, who coined the term #muscle watch for this very reason. NBA players love talking about how much muscle they've added in the offseason.
Shout out to Lang Whitaker, the white man with the blackest name ever. I remember the shock of my life when I saw Lang Whitaker's 100% pure as driven snow. I was like, what? I thought he was a brother with a name like that. Not since Levon Kendall, Canadian basketball player who played at Pitt, had I ever seen a white man with quite a black name.
Well, Lang Whitaker inspired so many people to keep track of this very important thing on Media Day. Michael Gallagher, Mike S. Gallagher on Twitter/X said, Muscle Watch leaderboard today, pounds gained. You ready for this, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Evan Mobley with just 7 pounds gained. Oof, he's got to up that. JT Thor, 8 pounds gained. Scotty Barnes, 9 pounds.
Okay.
Brandon Miller, Charlotte's own Brandon Miller, 10 pounds. Giannis, 11 pounds gained.
What? How's Giannis still gaining pounds?
Still not in the top 5 for pounds gained on Muscle Watch.
Cumulative gained, though, since the beginning of his rookie season.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of weight.
Giannis added 11 pounds. He was eating a lot of brats, apparently.
Brat.
Got to carry Dame all year. Needs that weight.
Jason Tatum, 12 pounds. Victor Wembanyama, so it's clear he's a rookie because he said 10 to 15 pounds. Bro, welcome to the NBA. You can't do a range. You got to specify.
We need numbers.
Tom, you got to take it easy on him, all right? He's converting from kilograms. He's not sure. It's tough, okay? Metric system adjustment is real.
Did Rudy Gobert consult him? Does he have an opinion on that? Like how hard that was?
Do not ask me about him.
Okay.
I do not want to hear about Victor no more. When you are perfect, comme moi, Rudy Gobert, you do not need to add any more kilo.
Mark Williams, Charlotte, again, big muscling up season in Charlotte.
Nice.
15 pounds for Mark. Walker Kessler, 15 pounds. Ate a lot of food in the Philippines, apparently.
Already a big kid, Walker Kessler.
That's what he was doing on the bench in Manila. Add muscle.
Max Christie, again, 15 to 20 pounds. We got to get rid of that range.
Oof.
Maybe the disqualification on this leaderboard. I don't think they should be qualifying if they have a range and they don't put an actual number.
20 pounds of muscle is, oof, all right.
Peyton Watson from the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, he's a skinny guy.
Wins the Muscle Watch. He is the leader in the clubhouse so far, 20 pounds.
I like it.
Also hearing reports that Jokic in Miami also says 20 pounds, but Peyton Watson hits the Muscle Watch bingo because he said he went from 198 to 218 with good muscle and, quote, I'm in the best shape of my life.
Oh, the best shape of your life. That is always going to put you ahead. If it's a dead heat between two guys, one guy says, I gained 20 pounds. The other guy says, I gained 20 pounds. And one of them says, I'm in the best shape of my life. Guess who just went forward? That's you, Peyton Watson.
You said dead heat. Speaking of heat, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Media Day?
Dead inside.
Jimmy Butler, we're going to have to begin with the obvious, which is a new look for you. Before we started, you said this was your emo stage. What does that look like for you?
I'm just emotional right now. A lot have gone on in the past week with basketball. So, you know, I'm in the wearing all black, and then my emotions,
The Bucks have tampered.
just show.
If you could name those emotions just that you have gone through within the past week, what are those emotions? So much has happened.
I was excited, and then angry, and then sad, and then excited again, and then pissed off, and then sad again. And now I'm excited. You just can't tell because I'm not smiling, but I'm very happy.
He showed up sad and emo. He put on the guy liner. He had, I don't know if you noticed the fingernails.
I didn't.
Painted black.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
That's an essential part of it.
Nose ring.
The hair was the best part.
Eyebrow ring. I'm working my way up there, Maze. Then we get to the hair. Laid into the side. Looking like a black mom.
A lot of emo band references, but my favorite comparison, because the hair is spot on like Jermaine Stewart.
Yes.
We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Way before emo.
Jermaine Stewart. That's right.
So emo was really drafting off of him.
Look, emo is timeless, Tom. I don't need to tell you this. As a white who was a teenager in the 2000s, you know that
Didn't do the old emo thing.
we did it a little different than everybody. We did a little more than everybody, but it's been around forever.
The closest thing I got was belting out Dashboard Confessional like once in my life.
There you go. Nailed it.
I'm going to be honest.
Qualified.
I'm not.
Tom was Haberbro, man. He was not in the emo thing. Maze? I could definitely see Maze with the...
Nah.
No?
That wasn't my vibe. No, I wasn't listening to that type of music. Jeremy Taché, on the other hand,
Wow.
Oh, no, yeah.
that man is representing very well right now.
I've never seen a GM act this way before. I know Jamie's gone, so I am trying. I know it's up to me now to score.
Do people realize why Jimmy Butler is doing this? The whole idea of what Jimmy's doing, the satire, the mockery of Media Day is not just, hey, I'm going to look emo today or wear dreadlocks last year. The whole funny part of this, the reason why he's doing it is because this is what you're going to look like on TNT every Thursday night. That's the headshot.
Yeah, last year he did Dreadlock Jimmy, and we got to experience that for a whole year. As one does. Once you get in the game, you have to raise the stakes for the next year. I would play the clip for you, but the audio is terrible. But Bam Adebayo was flabbergasted by this. Jimmy said that he's got to stay in character, and this is his Halloween. And he must have been planning this before this weekend, but it ended up working out quite well, given the events of what happened.
We talk a lot about on this show the breadcrumbs. I'm going to tell you about the breadcrumbs from emo Jimmy here. From the Damian Lillard trade, when he got upset, played a video and claimed that there was tampering on behalf of the Bucks.
Yo, NBA, man, y'all need to look into the Bucks for tampering. Y'all do. I'm just going to put that out there. Y'all didn't hear it from me, but I heard it through somebody. Y'all look at them for tampering.
In the background of that video, that, my friends, is a song I don't know. But apparently, this is My Chemical Romance, a song called Helena? What's the pronunciation? No? Maze?
Gonna leave you hanging out to dry there.
You are coming to the wrong place of worship if you're expecting us.
Jimmy Butler was listening to emo music while the Damian Lillard trade happened, and he recorded the video, and people were noticing, Jimmy Butler is listening to My Chemical Romance. And then he shows up a few days later on Media Day looking all emo. There are layers to this. Jimmy Butler doesn't do anything spontaneous. He thinks through these things. There are layers. There are breadcrumbs. This was not just, I woke up one morning and decided to go emo. But there are t-shirts now that have all sorts of Jimmy Butler puns on it. And I'm wondering if you guys like these. Shout out to Breaking Tees. For this shirt, we got All Out Boy.
That was Jasmine Watkins, right? Originally.
Shout out to Jasmine L. Watkins.
Himmy Eat World instead of Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy Eat World is fun.
What about Jimmy Heat World?
That one works too.
I like Jimmy Heat World better.
That was Brad Williams. Maze, I came up with that one.
Some 22 instead of Some 41.
Absolutely not.
Some 41 isn't emo. That's punk, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people push back on that one.
Death Cab for Coffee. Little inside basketball, but I like it.
What's the original band name?
Death Cab for Cutie.
Don't act like you don't know, I mean.
Not quite emo like we're talking here.
Okay.
That's not makeup. That's just sad boy music.
What's the difference?
The difference, I mean, is the look. The look that Jimmy was doing with the makeup and the piercings and the hair and the nails.
That's emo.
That's an emo look.
Got it. But what does sad boy look like?
They just look like normal dudes, Death Cab for Cutie, but they're singing very sad, emotional songs.
Got it.
So it's easy to get tripped up here, okay? The real origin of this shit is The Cure. Robert Smith and The Cure in the 80s had similar approaches to the look, but it was called goth. It was gothic music, gothic rock. 25 years before emo existed.
So the last one is Backboard Confessional.
And that one's good.
That's good. I wrote down, instead of My Chemical Romance, there's two options here. I'm wondering what you guys like better. My Cultural Romance?
No.
No?
Long Walk.
What about Miami Chemical Romance?
Better, but still a long walk.
Okay. Panic at the Biscayne.
I like that.
That's the end of my list.
There it is. Nailed it.
We got to send it over to Jeremy to see if these names, what his favorite one is.
I think Jeremy's probably already started a band called Backboard Confessional, and he'll have an album coming out later this week.
So hold your breath, because tonight will be the night that I will ball for you over again. I'm dropping 45, or I won't live to see another day. I swear it's true, because a guard like Dame's impossible to find. He's impossible to find.
My assignment: uncover why the association inspires more conspiracy theories in volume and salience than any other U.S. sport.
So you've heard of the Illuminati.
The truth is out there, but so are lies.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
The NBA has always been controlled by about 8 people.
Denial is the most predictable of all human responses.
If you're only using 10% of your brain, you don't even know that you're using 10% of your brain.
The NBA Illuminati.
If coincidences are just coincidences, why do they feel so contrived?
The Illuminati.
But you start to follow the money, and you don't know where the f*** it's going to take you.
It is unspoken. They have influence among other players.
The NBA Illuminati.
I don't have time for your convenient ignorance.
Maybe I'm a conspiracist now as well.
That's all it took. Oh, we got books, we got schools. You saw a video on YouTube.
My eyes, sir. You've never used them before.
We are the Basketball Illuminati.
This is Basketball Illuminati. I am Tom Haberstroh, and as always, I am joined by the 5-star Illuminarmy generals Amin Al-Hassan and producer Anthony Mays. They are the co-presidents of the Illumination. Media Day is in the rear view mirror. The season is right around the corner.
It's upon us.
We are a year removed from perhaps the punch heard round the world, but what was said preceding that punch had not been revealed until last Friday. Pablo Torre finds out an exclusive from his show at Meadowlark Media. Pablo Torre joining the program as a truth teller to talk about what was said, how he found out, and all of the different kind of layers on that story. But first,
you are listening to The Agenda with Tom Haberstroh and Amin Al-Hassan.
Very weird seeing Damian Lillard in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform. Jrue Holiday was a Blazer, but now is with the Boston Celtics. And there's this awkward thing where now everyone is saying, I'm so happy to be here. And yet the whole offseason was just, where are all these different chess pieces going to be on the chessboard? And finally, I think we're at a landing point with this, right?
No.
A landing point? What do you mean?
TBD, baby.
Yeah.
You think everybody's set?
No, man.
This is the lineups that everybody's going to have for the whole year. We're done making trades.
This is it.
In Portland, Milwaukee, and Boston. That's it.
Everywhere. The entire league.
Lock your lineups. Everything's set.
Well, also Philly, where James Harden doesn't show up to media day and is just MIA. No pun intended. Nowhere to be seen. Apparently, he is going to fulfill his obligations as a contracted employee to play for the Philadelphia 76ers, but he has not shown up. And there is no word whether he's going to show up in Colorado State for training camp with the Philadelphia 76ers. But the point is, the Dame trade is done. Jrue Holiday went from Milwaukee to Portland and is now in Boston. They traded Marcus Smart earlier in the offseason, and then they get, in my opinion, a better defender in Jrue Holiday. Where do we unpack?
Well, I want to start with Joel Embiid's tweet. This offseason was fun, LMAO.
No, he clarified it's because he got married. That's why it was fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Got it.
There are no mistakes, no coincidences.
But we snuck it in September. Update your September trade rankings. Is this on the level of Moses, Amin? Or do we need to see the results in order to make that judgment? Or is it just, it can't even touch it?
It can't touch it because Moses was the reigning MVP. That's the thing that's always, it's the combination of Moses reigning MVP, Sixers had been to the finals 2 of the last 3 years, and that third year they've been to the conference finals. There is no other combination like that of great player, yes, thank you, and elite team that happened. Damian Lillard is great. He is not the MVP of the league. The Bucks are an elite team. They did not go to the finals 2 out of the last 3 years, even though they did win the championship 2 years ago. So I would put this number 2, probably.
Wow. Hear that, Donovan Mitchell?
Yep. Sorry, Donovan Mitchell.
Get back in the lab.
Get traded somewhere else.
This will be, I promise, the last time I mention the Finder on this episode.
Yeah, sure. It's not.
But I looked at history and tried to find some deals that looked like this Damian Lillard trade to the Milwaukee Bucks of like, this is an all-NBA talent going to a team that has Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's not a lot of examples in history that you can point to, but I came up with a couple. Anthony Davis to the Lakers, Chris Paul to the Rockets to join James Harden. And what I'm talking about here is not like Kevin Garnett joining with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. I'm talking about like one star joining with another star. And there's not a third star in here, like a third.
Wow. All right. Yeah.
All-time Hall of Famer.
Just go home, Chris Middleton.
I know. I'm sorry. Apologies to Chris Middleton. But the parameters were NBA 75 player getting traded to another team with an NBA 75 player and no other NBA 75 players. I came up with 2 comps. Amin, I'm wondering your take on these 2 comps. Clyde Drexler getting traded from Portland to Houston to join up with Hakeem, which is eerily close to this Damian Lillard thing because of the whole Portland factor. And the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo
is Nigerian,
also has won DPOY and MVP in the same year, which is what Hakeem Olajuwon did. Also had won a title before Clyde Drexler and Damian Lillard came. And the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo just trained with Hakeem Olajuwon like a week ago.
Full circle.
I thought Chris Paul going to Houston Rockets is also an interesting comp. Not exactly what I was looking for.
What about Russell Westbrook getting traded to the Rockets?
I don't think he was all NBA. Was he all NBA at the time of the trade, or was he years past?
All NBA 2018-19. Yes, sir. He was all NBA, third team.
So not a bad comp.
Except he got traded for a top 75 player.
A little different.
And Chris Paul.
The other comp that I had here, 2007-2008 Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd joins Dirk Nowitzki.
Okay.
So how old was Jason Kidd at that point?
He was 145 years old.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. When he got traded, he was old as shit.
That's a very different player. He's shooting threes.
He's collecting ARP.
He's getting into early bird movie prices.
He's 33.
Wow.
He was coming off a season in which he was an all-NBA, all-star player, and he was averaging 10 assists a game.
He was an all-NBA in 2007.
Well, okay. All-star.
He was all defensive team.
He wasn't 1,000 years old. He was the same age as Damian Lillard.
No, he was 1,000 years old.
This feels like a Wilford Brimley and Cocoon situation.
Yeah.
We're finding out that
him and Tom Cruise, the same age, right?
Jason Kidd at 33 and Dame Lillard at 33 are 10 years apart physically.
I got one for you, which I thought you were going to go with when you said 2007, 2008. Pau Gasol to the Lakers.
Yeah, not NBA 75.
Pau's not top 75? What? I'm just learning this.
Yeah. Not NBA 75.
I stand corrected.
So he doesn't count here.
Wow.
But that's a great comp if he was NBA 75.
Anthony Davis made it and Powell didn't?
Jokic didn't. Powell didn't. Dwight Howard didn't. Tony Parker didn't.
Well, Tony Parker. Stretch a little on that one.
Squeak?
Yes.
You didn't squeak in.
Le squeak, c'est chic.
My very first basketball show.
I want to ask a question because we're in this limbo period before the new CBA is really in effect, right? The second apron is looming on the horizon. We've got lots of people who are scared of it. We've talked about that before. Who's more all in for this season? Is it Boston, who's looking at paying 6 players $180 million next year? Is it Phoenix, who got rid of DeAndre Ayton for Yusuf Nurkic because of fit, according to Matt Ishbia?
I was there.
And not financial reasons? Or is it Milwaukee pushing all their chips into the table with Dame and Giannis and Middleton and Brook Lopez, trying to keep Giannis? Who needs to win the title more this year?
Who's more all in? I think Boston's lower on that list because of the fact that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are young, right? So it's not like if they strike out this year, it's all over. Whereas with Giannis and Milwaukee, if they don't do this, they could lose Giannis in a year. The window on Damian Lillard's career, it's more all in for this year than it is for the Boston Celtics when they have like another few bites at the apple because of how young their superstars are.
This is what I'll say about Milwaukee. If it fails miserably, they have 2 risks, right? One is that Giannis can just walk whenever his contract is up or demand to be traded. The second is that Damian Lillard could say, see, I told you I wanted to go to Miami. So even though he's under contract for a few more years, Milwaukee, I'm not saying they have to win a championship, but they have to come across as they know what they're doing. They look like they know what they're doing in order to convince their guys.
Right.
I think Phoenix is interesting because there's a lot of questions there. There's not a pure point guard on the roster.
What do you mean, Yusuf Nurkic?
Yeah, well, and then outside of Nurkic, even size-wise, they're not.
What do you mean, Devin Eubanks? Problem solved.
Yes, there you go.
I mean, Kevin Durant's 7 feet tall.
Yes, he is 7 feet tall. Well, Media Day would have you believe he's 6'11".
I think Phoenix has been spending money like it's not going to be there next year. We've talked about it since HBA took control. It's reckless. He emptied the cupboard of draft picks. He's maxed out financially the roster. They did pretty good work on the margins this summer before the Ayton trade. I feel okay about the return for Ayton. I don't feel amazing about it.
I think it helps them tremendously, to be honest with you.
Here's what I'll say. If it does blow up for Milwaukee, they have Giannis Antetokounmpo as a trade piece that they could pivot and get a king's ransom for that guy. Phoenix Suns, can you say Devin Booker would get that sort of return? Would Kevin Durant?
Yeah, I think so.
If it blows up, you've got Kevin Durant at his age with his injury history. And the reason why it blows up is probably due to Kevin Durant either getting hurt or something happening with Kevin Durant where he's not nearly as effective as he used to be. If Milwaukee are out in the first round or second round, I think they can pivot better than what the Phoenix Suns can.
I don't know. I think Devin Booker can get you a fairly significant haul. I think Bradley Beal.
As Giannis?
Not as young, but like this, I mean, again. Well, let me just say this. I think if anything, it's been proven that there isn't a linear scale on this guy's worth this. Yeah. That means this guy's going to be worth this. So Giannis is absolutely a better player than Booker, but I could see a way where Phoenix could get a return that would be comparable to what the Bucks get for Giannis, just because that's the way this league works, especially when you're dealing with people who are looking for different sorts of things.
And if you're going to give up the whole cupboard for Giannis, he can walk. So he's got this expiring deal after next season that maybe if he had an extension, people would feel a little bit more comfortable putting everything into the deal.
Booker's under contract through 2028. No options.
There you go. So to your point, Devin Booker would probably get more from that perspective, is you don't feel like you're giving all your assets for a rental.
I like how Tom's already trading Giannis. That's nice.
And Devin Booker.
Season hasn't even started yet.
At the same time, and trying to see who's going to get a bigger return.
But is it that part of the calculus of more all in is the risk, the stakes of going in?
I actually think the Celtics are the most all in right now.
Really?
Because I think the Porzingis trade is an extremely risky, unknown situation. And then they compounded that. And I think the Jrue part of it makes sense. If it's on the table, you should make a move for that. He's an upgrade over Brogdon. He's an upgrade over Marcus Smart, like you said, Tom, who was already out the door. I think that makes sense at this point. But the financial situation of it, they really can't keep this group together more than 1 year. So if it doesn't work and they don't win a title with Porzingis and Holiday in the mix, they're going to have to make some big changes going into next year, going into second apron territory going forward. Meanwhile, Nikola Jokic is pissed to be back at work. I love that man so much.
I'm over that shit.
He's so grumpy. He hasn't even heard of Deion Sanders. That man will be in the finals again.
I'm over this shit.
Because he hates his job.
I'm wondering if Amin is going to go. Remember when Pop blows off the quarter end interviews and then does the whole DNP rest, load management thing? And Amin was the first one on this in the very beginning, is like, hey, man, it's cool, but you're effing up everybody's money.
Yep.
This is all part of the brand, the NBA, that this entertainment side of the business is huge. You want to get paid $20 million a year to coach a 30-win team? So Jokic coming in and being upset to show up to media day, or kind of apathetic to showing,
oh, did you touch a basketball? No, I didn't really touch a basketball. Maybe once or twice. And Jamal said, oh, no, he didn't even do that much. Like, I'm sick of that shit, man. It's not cute. It's not funny. It's not refreshing.
Disagree.
Look, disagree until you got a whole league of people saying they don't really like basketball. Then where are you going to be at? I don't really like this shit anyway. I like my horses. I like my DJing. I like my fashion.
He's a unicorn in that sense. There hasn't been a player like him. It's not like he's inspiring people with his apathy. It's not like Steph Curry.
But you saying like, hey, man, it's great to not have to show up to work. He's being honest that he doesn't like showing up to work and like all this extraneous stuff of like, oh, I have to look like I'm really excited for media day and talk about the season and get really jacked up about the year. I think Amin's point is, if other people see him blow it off and Jimmy Butler make a mockery of media day, then like it kind of hurts everybody's bottom line in some sense.
I disagree. I think Jimmy Butler leans in the media day and he makes it fun and makes it his own, so to speak. But what I think about is, you guys know what upfronts are?
Yeah.
For television?
In TV. And TV, when there are new shows coming out, they have these things called upfronts. The networks will have an upfront. This is where they get all the advertisers in one place, and they get people who represent these different shows. Basically, they're selling them, hey, man, we got this new show coming out. It's a sitcom. It's got a single mom and this guy at her job, and sparks fly, and this is going to be the biggest hit comedy, and you didn't want to be this. We're going to have great numbers or whatever. Sponsors are like, yeah, I could see how this content matches with this product. We would want to get in contact with the network.
You get them excited.
You get them excited. Imagine if you came to upfront and said, yeah, this shit sucks, bro. Ain't nobody trying to watch this shit.
Counterpoint, what if then you go ahead and make the best show on television?
Sure.
It's not like it's affecting his play.
No. Maze, you're mistaking.
You want a showman. You want a salesman. I get it.
Dude, we got to sell this shit, man.
You want somebody to prop up everybody else.
And by the way, his success makes it even more dangerous because people don't emulate the failures. They emulate the success. So if they see the champ, the best player in the league, the guy who's dominating every day, treat this shit like it's a slog. Well, then guess what? Like, oh man, good training camp, practice, a game, this championship, wow, great, yawn, Commissioner's Cup. We get this, it tumbles downhill where everyone's doing this shit. Because it is a lot easier to just be boring and lazy on media day and not excited for any of this shit. We're selling a product at the end of the day. I get it. Hey, man, if I'm great at my job, that's cool. That's not the only part of your job. We're all in this selling this shit so that we can all eat off of it. All of us. I'm not just talking about players. I'm talking about coaches. I'm talking staff members. I'm talking about media people. I'm talking about companies that sponsor our league. We're all making money off of the excitement that the NBA is fantastic. The NBA, I love this game. The NBA where amazing happens. Not the NBA like, oh, this shit again? That motherfucker should have showed up emo on media day, acting like that.
He did. He's actually dead inside. He's not just faking it with lip piercings and straightened hair, okay?
He's about that life.
Look, man, I love the NBA because it's a place for everybody to be an individual. You got Kyrie on Neptune, solving international diplomacy issues. You got Nikola Jokic just bummed out to have to be back to do his job. And then you got Jimmy Butler doing cosplay. It's fantastic.
How about the all Serbian rejects?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there for when Jusuf Nurkic took that answer and went in a totally...
I was not.
Oh.
I literally left because I had to go do oddball. So I waited to the end of Durant, and then Durant got up and Nurk was coming up on stage, and I was just like, sorry. And I had to leave.
Sorry, Jusuf.
Jusuf Nurkic summed up the culture shock of going from Portland to Arizona better than anybody I've heard in a long time. Let's roll the tape.
On the flip side, the second question is tricky because they still don't know why everybody have so many guns. Like, I feel like that's kind of, still don't understand to this day because I feel the kids should be safer in our schools. And I think personally, when you see even if fake guns, whatever, come up with the social media and kids having in school, I think it's a bad thing. And sometimes you can't control certain things with these media, all the social media, we have platforms. But I think our kids, if we can secure them, the better, world going forward, it'll definitely be without guns because all these wars and around the world is definitely not good for anyone, especially if people going through that and losing their lives for no reason. The war doesn't bring anything, just the sadness and heartbroken things. And I feel like for the kids going forward in America on whole earth, it's got to be a better place to live, with the more positive things.
Nice.
What's the deal? He's like a Jerry Seinfeld bit. What's the deal with all these guns?
What's the deal with that?
But in all seriousness, really cool to hear Nurkic speak on such an important issue, especially when we've seen the way that other players handle the gun situation.
Mace, how do you feel about the idea of him being a gun activist? For every basketball answer, he has to figure out a way to turn it into a campaign against guns. Hey man, how was your pick and roll last night with Devin Booker? You guys had 12 points in the pick and roll, and you had a good 3-pointer in the closing seconds. How big was that for you?
I mean, it's going to be pretty easy for him because he's got so many shooters on his team.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
But you know who's got more shooters, Tom?
Who's that?
Draymond Green.
I thought he just had one really big shooter.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We should dig into this a little bit more.
Yeah, we got to find some things out. Draymond Green, what was said that triggered him to punch Jordan Poole across the jaw.
Punch Jordan Poole across the country.
Yeah.
To Washington.
In the words of Juju Gotti, across the multiverse.
Coming up next, the voice of the show, Pablo Torre, joining us on Basketball Illuminati, this week's truth teller, in just a moment.
Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts. No monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago, and I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
You all think I'm late. Well, I'm not late. And I'm going to stay right here and fight for this lost cause. Even if this room gets filled with lies like these. And the Taylors and all their armies come marching into this place. Somebody will listen to me.
There's no better way to overpower a trickle of doubt than with a flood of naked truth.
But the complexity and the gray lie not in the truth, but what you do with the truth once you have it.
What is true and right is true and right for all.
You and I both know that that's just not the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Too messy. Keeps them up nights.
I'm here because in the end, the truth is worth the risk.
Speak a little truth and people lose their minds.
I'm a grown man, you can tell me the truth.
Why is it people who want the truth never believe it when they hear it?
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something really outrageous. I'm going to tell the truth.
I am so excited to welcome in our truth teller for this week. It's, I think, like 2 years in the making. The last time that the group of us have been together was Pablo at Mas Miami when we brought you onto the stage.
That's right. Oh my God. I was wearing a robe. You guys gave me a robe for that.
It was less than a year ago, by the way.
Oh, it was way back when.
Is it 2 years?
Anywhere between 6 months and 6 years ago, I was on stage in front of a throng, several throngs of your adoring fans who watched us, this is not an exaggeration, just engage in a satanic ritual on stage with robes.
Yes. Yeah. And for those who don't know, I think it's pretty obvious right now who the voice is in our intro that says the words, "My assignment." That is Pablo Torre, who is on this program as we speak. He is the voice behind our intro, the opening words of our intro. He is joining us this week to unpack the backpack. From last week's Pablo Torre Finds Out episode, breaking news, the exclusive report. We're going to unpack everything here on Basketball Illuminati. Pablo, welcome to the show. Well, like, you're back. Every week you're here with us in voice, but thank you for joining us.
Thank you for that intro. Thank you for letting me be your intro. It's only fair that look, you guys and me, going back to the True Hoop days, have done so many pods that I just have great fondness for, some of which, as Amin and I have repeatedly teased Dan's audience with, have never been released.
Well, they were released.
Well, they weren't allowed to live.
They were released. They were just taken down.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's the least I could do. Of course, anytime you want me, I'm honored to put on a robe again for you guys.
So I find it hilarious. I find it fascinating that just one day after I founded The Finder, which is my new publication.
Which is so good. It's really good.
Thank you. It's my publication where I publish things that you can find at tomthefinder.com. I publish things that you can't find anywhere else, of which you'll find that Amin Al-Hassan is a founding father of The Finder, which I've found it in my heart to name the title of such a strong supporter, the founding finder, who are people who find $250 in their wallets to send me every year to support me like founding finder Amin Al-Hassan. Anyway,
I'm so confused right now.
I know people might find it hard to believe, but a day after I founded the Finder, you, Pablo, founded Pablo Torre Finds Out. So I'm wondering if you could find the words to explain how you, exactly as the founder of Pablo Torre Finds Out, how you found out about the Finder.
Yeah, I found out about the Finder the day before launching Pablo Torre Finds Out by finding you on Twitter, where I often find you, finding things, and I immediately found myself thinking, come on, what are the odds? The odds, it turns out, are quite good. Both of us, Tom, we noticed the market inefficiency at the same time. You were one analytics-minded front office. I was another, noticing that the word find was really under-leveraged in the world of sports podcasting. And both of us tried to pee on that tree before the other, and you got there first. I do need to acknowledge that, legally speaking, that as much as I was making this thing in the background for far longer than I care to admit, honestly, it's sad. I don't know how long it took you to come up with that name. It took me a long ass time. And so, yeah, you got there first. And I apologize for peeing on the tree after you peed on it.
The tree was wet already with urine, soaked in urine. And yet you decided to walk around that tree and go pee on it again. I mean, how are you finding this? Repulsive? Grotesque?
I'm finding that this segment is defined as something that is unrefined. It is floundering.
This is not why we brought Pablo onto the show.
God, I hope not.
We can finally get to the big thing, okay?
Am I about to get served by a legal representative here? Is that what's happening?
You might find something in your mailbox. I don't know. We'll see. Pablo, this exclusive is big. You were sitting on this for quite a while, and I didn't know about this. This is kind of in our purview at Basketball Illuminati, that you got to the bottom of probably one of the biggest stories of the past calendar year in the NBA is, what did Jordan Poole actually say to Draymond Green that prompted him to knock him the F out at a Warriors practice? And I think the story would have been great just to like release that and publicize that. But what you did on Pablo Torre Finds Out, which is a podcast and a YouTube show and on DraftKings Network. You can find it on 7,000 different platforms, no pun intended. You talked to Ezra Edelman because he was the one who tipped you off to this. And then you went and did an absolutely amazing journalistic scavenger hunt to verify this text message. And I'm wondering, do you still feel good about the journalism that you did, the legwork that you did to confirm, to deny, to verify this quote?
I feel great about it. And I did not feel great necessarily while even recording it, because Ezra Edelman, for those people who don't know, is, in my opinion, like the greatest documentarian that's in America. He's a friend of mine. He is my journalistic conscience. And so I consulted him, trying to get him to participate in this episode, this investigation with me. And he didn't want to do it in a very sincere way for a very long time. And so even us taping it, he was challenging me. The idea, is this really something that you can report? How do you feel about it? And where I landed then is how I feel now, which is this has been presented with enough transparency, how I found this. The fact that Ezra got a text message from somebody, that I was at dinner with him and I leapt over the table to see it. And then I decided immediately, well, I got to go like figure out how I can bring this onto the record. And so we contacted more than 24 sources, 24 people in and around the Warriors who would know about this stuff. The vast majority of which said to us, basically, go f yourself, which I totally understood. But we got someone to verify that this, in fact, was the phrase that the Warriors internally had been talking about. The one that Jordan Poole had said to Draymond Green that got him punched in the face. And so I feel great. But of course, you guys know this. When you do something like this, you get aggregated. And then all of these people who did not listen to your admittedly masturbatory, but nonetheless meaningful, I thought, meditation on journalism, they jump in and they're like, that's not what was said. No, Cameron got this. Cameron got it first. And I'm just like, okay. So then I got frustrated about that. Otherwise, I feel good.
Did Cameron actually get it first?
We got something.
So Cameron, who I love, I love Cameron. I really need to. Cameron and Mace love what they're doing, but they tried to pee on this tree. And their urine was unfortunately clearly regurgitated ball sack sports. Like, I didn't say this in the episode, but they drank a bunch of ball sack sports and they peed it out onto the tree of like, here we are, we got it.
Wow.
And I just want to point this out because I didn't say this in the episode itself, but now I just feel obligated to, because people are like, no, Cameron said way better stuff. He's right. When Cameron hypothesized that what Jordan Poole said was, I have more bitches than you, and don't worry about it. You'll be in Sacramento next year. And what's your handle? Money Green if you're broke, blah, 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 which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Ballsack Sports fake athletic article from October 7th, 2022 that had a bunch of that in there. And the Cameron episode with Mace, in which he said all this stuff, was from months later. And so I regret to inform all of the Basketball Illuminati community that Cameron got ball sacked. He did.
It happens to the best of us.
Yep. I mean, Dan Lebitard, the best of us, he gets sacked weekly, it seems.
And I would say that Dan also got secondhand ball sacked on this particular one because...
Yes, you're right.
I remember him trumpeting that Mace and Cam, they have connections. These guys are connected in this world. These rappers, they know everything. They don't think the Sugats. They're doing our jobs now. And they've got the connections because they've got the cachet with these athletes. And they're going to know things.
They're going to graffiti the cathedral.
Sugats.
The cathedral of sports.
They're coming in and they're taking everything.
They're throwing paint on the David. Yes.
So, yes, it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing about Cam saying it was there's two very strong influences with it. One is the fact that if Cam said it, there's no way he's just like us scrolling through Twitter, seeing a screenshot or an infographic and basing his opinion on this, right? There's no, it's Cameron. Of course, he just picked up the phone and called Steph Curry and started rapping horse and carriage to him. And then he's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is what would happen, right? So there's that part of it. But the other part of it also is that, and this is the part where I'm not a journalist. I have no journalistic credibility or integrity, but having worked in an official journalism place, I know there's certain things you can and cannot do. And Cam, obviously operating outside of that purview, has no part of him that says, A, is this shit real that I just read? B, saying this information I got from something I read. He says it as if he himself had the access, which he didn't. And he didn't even double check to see if this shit was even real or not. That's not a criticism. It happens. But when you combine that with he's so famous, people assume he's got inside knowledge and access, then obviously it creates this situation.
Yeah. And so, look, the line that I reported, which just to be very clear about it, the line is, you're an expensive backpack for 30. That is what Jordan Poole told Draymond Green before he got punched. It's a line that I think is pretty well crafted. 30 being Steph Curry, expensive backpack, both being maybe a triple entendre when you get into like is Draymond's jump shot kind of like a backpack?
Yes.
A kid wearing a backpack.
Did you mention that? I was thinking that the whole time in the episode.
I didn't mention it in the episode and I regret it.
Do you think it's too inside basketball?
That part just felt like my interpretation, knowing that I have a brain soaked in internet juice. Where I'm just like, well, that's what an amazing illusion. Again, the triple entendre to the meme of Draymond's jumper looking like he's wearing a backpack. But the truth of it that I know resonated with Draymond is the part about him being a burden on Steph, who's overpaid. And this was going to be Draymond's last year. I had been told that Draymond was telling people close to him that he expected that to be his last year. No surprise to people who follow the Warriors and the NBA. He was going to be way too expensive. They're going to pay Jordan Poole. And so the economic insecurity of that is why all of this came to blows, or one specific punch to the face. But that part, I'm just like, oh, Jordan Poole's kind of like, that's a pretty good line. And immediately people were like, Cameron's done it better. All right. Well, touche.
What's the thing that Robert Wall said?
Arliss is Robert Wall?
Yes, that same Robert Wall. He had this HBO special thing where he was kind of just talking about what is truth and all this. It was actually pretty interesting. But he says, when the legend becomes fact, print the legend.
Print the legend.
Cameron's version, which is, I guess, Ballsack's version, is way more inflammatory and thus makes for a much greater story. You're right. You're just an expensive backpack for 30 is cold-blooded in its efficiency.
It hits close to the bone.
Unlike Jordan Poole, it is very efficient.
Last season, yes.
It lacks the, how shall I say, the panache.
Je ne sais quoi.
Are you saying that Killer Cam did not have the lyrical talents of Jordan Poole?
No.
With his quote, with his line? Well, I guess he's reporting the line.
Well, he got ghost-ridden unintentionally
Yeah.
by Ballsack Sports, which is, I believe, beneath Cameron's lyrical ability, objectively speaking.
But also, it is probably closer to what Jordan Poole is, to borrow off what you just said, which is it's uncommonly efficient, unlike Jordan Poole. The ball sack version is very Jordan Poole. It's a lot of volume, and there's some hits in there, but it's just right.
What's interesting to me is that the number in there, 30, the nickname for Steph, 30, is almost a tell that this is inside the locker room, because it's not you're an expensive backpack for Steph or Curry. It's for 30. And if the line that you looked at on Ezra's cell phone was you're an expensive backpack for Steph, something in your brain, Pablo, I'm imagining would have been like, maybe this is what was said. But the fact that it's for 30, which is the nickname for him,
it gives it some authenticity.
It's like, oh, I think this might be it.
I felt it immediately. I know it when I see it kind of a deal. And you're right. That was part of it. And I can confirm also, as if this wasn't obvious, that like a non-zero number of players in the NBA have heard it in this form. Yes, this is something that is plausibly in the NBA player discourse, this specific line, as well as something that's been reported to be as such.
On that note, Pablo, I thought it was revealing that, as far as I could tell, listening to this, no one denied that that was it, right?
Yeah,
they were more like, hey, f off. This is inside the cathedral of our locker room. Back the f up, reporter. They didn't say, hey, you got it wrong. It was more like, I'm not talking about this, which in some ways, I mean, like if you were asked about something confidential at the Suns in the locker room and they hit it, they were right. You would not text them back. Actually, that's not correct. I can't say what it was, but that is incorrect. That is, as far as I can tell, Pablo, not what happened here. There were no denials. They were just, we are not commenting.
Yeah, we gave everybody the opportunity to just like weigh in however they wanted to in any form, you know, and nobody said, you're on the wrong track here, which indicates to me by the transitive property that maybe we're on the right one. Now, that's not dispositive in journalism. That's not enough to go with. But again, getting that second source, I had such amazing confidence. I would not have started this if the text was from a random, truly just like nobody person, right? I'm not going to speculate more about that, but it's just that I needed a second one. And at that point, I'm like,
The text was from Draymond.
The call was coming from inside the backpack. Yeah, it was remarkable, the self-destructiveness of this entire thing. But to your point about the Warriors and the Wizards, because we obviously went to Draymond and to Jordan and to the Warriors and to the Wizards and people around them, people around Steph, everybody. And it just became very clear that no one wanted to talk about this on the record because it f***ing mattered. The Punch is incredible gossip. And that's how this started for me, right? I love doing serious investigations into stupid things. This was both stupid, but also significant because it ended up changing so many things.
Let me ask you a question. A few years ago, Bobby Portis punched Nikola Mirotic in practice and fractured his eye socket.
Yes.
But I feel like people have just forgotten about that.
Correct. I did until you just reminded me of it.
Bobby Portis carries zero stigma from that event. Do you think this thing was such a huge deal because they were defending champs, or because we saw the punch, or because Draymond is just commonly a villain?
I think it's the tape.
It's tape.
It's the TMZ tape. Yes, it's all of those things. It's a multivariate equation, right? Yes, defending champions. Yes, the backdrop of both of them wanting to get paid, only one of them getting paid, and then the flip-flop thereafter, of course, in terms of trading Jordan. But even before that happened, it was just the TMZ video. I mean, if you remember, I vividly remember it was the Athletic alert about a physical altercation has happened at Warriors practice between Draymond and Jordan Poole, and that was it. That was the extent of the detail.
And that could have been it.
And it would have been it.
It could have just died there.
Definitively, it would have been it, in my opinion. But then you get the security cam footage because TMZ, my understanding is, of course, they pay for it. The Warriors do an investigation into figuring out who the leaker was. No one is held to account, at least none that they have publicized. They wouldn't tell us if someone had been. The investigation was deemed closed. But the point being that that tape was this thing that spoke to an even greater salaciousness around ego and also just human nature, right? Like, holy shit, this physical altercation was more vivid on tape than the imagined punch from Bobby Portis into Nikola Mirotic's face. Even if Portis and Mirotic were stars on the level that certainly Draymond and Jordan Poole are, in excess of them.
Yeah, and Mirotic had to walk around with a mask on.
Yeah.
The damage from his punch was way more destructive, at least physically, than it was.
Physically, yes.
Than it was to Jordan Poole, although his career is kind of over, so or his NBA career, that is over. Pablo, can you tell us how long this process took from the moment you're at dinner with Ezra, you see the text, to you come out with this story? What was that time process?
Yeah, so I remember this was in August, I think, when I saw the text. And immediately, within a nanosecond, I was like, again, I have content brain. I'm not proud of this, but I have content brain. Anything that I encounter in life, I ask myself, is this an episode of my show? Is this something that I can do for Pablo Torre Finds Out?
Right.
That one, I just knew it immediately that I wanted to try. But in terms of, it took weeks of reaching out to everybody, weeks of all of the reporting in the background, weeks of, I mean, honestly, as hard as getting the second source was, convincing Ezra was harder.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
He doesn't give interviews.
Yeah.
I love Ezra. He's a friend of mine, but he is something of a recluse. And he only does stuff when forced to around his films, which he puts his life into. And so the idea of like, I'm going to wade into the pool full of the gas bags and the gossip and TMZ, it's kind of like antithetical to him. And so the very brief backstory is Ezra's birthday that night, I spent so much of it shamefully trying to convince him to do this.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Here comes the cake and the candles. But seriously, though, can we get to the main event?
For real. For real. And only when Ezra clearly enjoyed the parrying, the challenging of me, the undermining of my content brain, only when I realized, oh, that's what he has energy on. He didn't give a f*** about this as a story, even though he's a Warriors fan, because it just fell beneath his bar, beyond the pale journalistically.
Right.
And he was like, it's not that serious. And I'm like, but the question of how you report this and where do we fit into this, the journalism conversation, the meta of it, that he was into. And I was like, oh, well, me too. And that's how we framed it.
Let me ask you this. Journalistically, could the story have been told if Ezra Edelman's identity is concealed? Could you have done all of this and just instead of, I was at dinner with Ezra Edelman, which is a hell of a name drop. Look at me, I was at dinner with a friend of mine who is a noted figure in the entertainment world.
Yes, but I think it would not have been nearly as good. Like, I think I could get away with it. I could have threaded the needle of like, okay, I don't like anonymous sources everywhere, right? I want a human face to just validate I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. That would have been the hesitation. But if I had a second source, I still could have, I think, threaded the needle on just like justifying it as a matter of like, there's news in here. But without him pushing me and challenging me on the process of making this, and this is where I'm answering this as somebody who likes that conversation, not as somebody who consumed this via Clutch Points or NBA Central. I don't think those people ever listened to this shit, you know? I just think they saw it and they were like, Cameron did it better, and then moved on.
Right.
But for me, I wouldn't have felt nearly as comfortable without a conscience to like actually interrogate me so that I could feel like, you know, I paid my penance to objective journalism.
I think what's interesting to me about this whole story, which again, Pablo Torre finds out last week, Friday, I believe it was. Pablo, why do you think it hadn't come out? And why do you think it was you? What does it say about the media industry?
Well, we know I was him. It's because he was privy to a text message.
Because my content brain.
But are we saying that other people weren't privy to that text message, that saw it and were like, I'm too close to this situation. I'm going to burn bridges. I'm going to betray confidences with...
Were there?
I'm asking Pablo. Why does Pablo think this hadn't gotten out until now?
I was worried that it would. And this is part of the story, honestly. Like the meta of it is...
That's the most journalism thing you've said all episode, by the way, is that you were worried that you're going to get scooped.
Truly.
That is so true. Yes.
By the way, like we rushed this out to make it come out on Friday before Monday because I didn't know what media day was going to be like. So I want to get this out before because I was actively worried, like this is going to come out at some point, right? Like, again, I've now shared this around just to fact check it. Someone somewhere is going to get to this with fewer scruples, perhaps, or maybe even more sourcing than I have potentially. But when I saw the text, yes, I was always curious about like the punch, because there's this lineage of, I'm fascinated by just what makes someone snap. That to me is a question of human nature. I just think that's really interesting. But in terms of like the specifics on, because I had seen the Cameron podcast, I had seen the viral theories, right? So on some level, it felt like, again, to torture the metaphor, it did feel like the tree had been peed on. It did feel like, well, people had talked about this already. But what occurred to me when I saw the text that Ezra received was, holy shit, I've never actually seen the actual reported version of this. Like, I did not know that it was this specifically, which reminded me that it had not been out yet. And so I think there was that part of it. Like, people assumed because the rumors were so saturating everything that we've moved on from the story. It was one of those things. It was one of those theories. And then when it turned out to not be, now I'm in a race against people maybe that I'm imagining who also want to get to the bottom of this.
Race against time itself.
At ESPN, you'd have like a big story. And I remember Henry Abbott, our editor, this is like March. And he's like, we're going to hold this for when the Heat are in the finals in June. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. And he's like, no, it's going to be great timing. The whole world is going to be watching and consuming this content. We're going to hold on to this until June. And that was my Chris Bosh feature that I went to his house and interviewed him. And he gave all sorts of like revelatory quotes.
All I remember is beer from that.
We were drinking craft beer that he had brewed at his house, and he went after Skip Bayless and the whole Bosch Spice stuff.
Yes.
And I was like, oh man, Henry, we got to run this like next week. And he's like, no. Who else is going to get this? And I was like, no, but this is big and someone's going to scoop me. And what if the Heat don't make it to the finals? What if we get there and you're like, well, let's wait till next week?
It's Pacers Spurs.
And it's Pacers Spurs and we lose it. So much of this game behind the scenes and writing and magazine work and investigations is timing and serendipity of, hey, when are we going to get this out? We could wait, but don't we kind of want to do this right before media day, which is next week? I totally get that, Pablo.
Right.
Let me ask you a question on that note. If this were 6-7 years ago, you're at ESPN, you make your appearances on PTI, on Around the Horn, on HQ, but I believe 6-7 years ago, you were still technically a writer for the magazine, right?
Yeah.
How would you have handled the story?
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that till just now. I assume there would have been a squadron of people, right? Like I would have brought this to my editors and we would have assembled the whole squad, right?
The Avengers of reporters, yeah.
The Warriors beat writers, the news desk would have had oversight over it. I would not have gotten to control it in the same way as my guest, which is why I'm now suddenly reflecting on this and glad that I got to handle it in my own way. Because the way I executed it with Ezra in a way that was, again, this weirdo conversation that was also an investigation thing, that would not have been how. There would have been a newser. I would have been fed into the machine of doing hits on like SportsCenter and all that stuff, which would have been very useful on some level, but it would have been very different than the execution that I desired. And also, now that we're thinking about like, okay, why was I racing to get this out there and how would it have been different 6-7 years ago? And how is it different from the Chris Bosh story? And Draymond has a podcast.
Yeah.
And this was another one of my favorite details in this story was that Draymond, the night it happened, recorded an episode of his podcast and then spiked it because he didn't like or had been told.
The lost files of the Draymond Green podcast, yes.
So somewhere out there is the episode that Draymond recorded in which he discusses this to some uncomfortable depth, uncomfortable even for a guy like Draymond, right? And so that thing that he could not say, like the one episode he never released, the one episode that he ever spiked, that he never repotted about, it was also just an interesting statement about the era we live in now, 6 to 7 years later, where everybody has podcasts, all the principals, the protagonists have podcasts, but when it came to this specific thing, they did not want to monetize it or capitalize on it. This one thing. And that to me was like irresistibly attractive.
Which is funny because every other part of it did get monetized and capitalize on it.
Yes.
Why do you think this part was the state secret? The video is out.
I think it's because Draymond hadn't gotten his extension yet. I think because he was worried about the label of him being an expensive backpack might actually hurt his chances of getting the bag. By putting a stamp of approval, verification on this, he's almost legitimizing the barb.
Okay, Draymond didn't want to say. Why did everyone else keep quiet about this particular part?
On some level, I think the secret of what was said, it wasn't across the entire NBA. That's not my understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that this was a game of telephone that sort of went around. Again, if you look at the TMZ video, right, you can go back and we did this exercise of like, so who was around when the punch was thrown? You can actually see there's like a dozen.
This is a Bruder film.
Ron Adams, yes.
Yeah, no, the ball boys, bench players. So we reach out to all of these guys, right? Like you can sort of tell. But in terms of who they told,
right,
I think there is this other layer of, I think it speaks to the gravity of how much this hurt. It wasn't like, ha ha ha, look at this great line.
Yeah.
This was a thing, I call it in the episode, this was a crossroads. And the fact that people wanted to stay away from it, Ezra brings this up, and it's such a brilliant thing by him. I asked him, like, what else does this remind you of this story? And he was like, there are two examples. One of them is Marco Materazzi in the World Cup, the Italian soccer player, getting headbutted by Zinedine Zidane in the World Cup final against France because of a thing that was said that we only found out about in April of this year. April of this year, we finally get Materazzi say, you know, there was some back and forth about Zidane tells him like, oh, do you want my jersey? You know, like a taunt. And Materazzi says that I'd prefer your sister. And that's when Zidane takes his shiny bald head and levels him in the chest.
There wasn't a Sacramento line? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then there was the Roberto Alomar situation with John Hirschbeck, the umpire, in which Alomar spits at an umpire on national television. And for years, we still don't know what was said in that one. We still don't know what the line was. It's been rumored, there have been theories, but no one has ever actually said, neither of them have said what it is. And so in these circumstances where there is like a snapping of a psychology that's kind of scary to people, that changes both the deliverer of the punch and the receiver, there's weirdly this gravity to it that reminds us, man, it's taken decades for some of these things to come out somehow.
But you found it.
In a year.
Well,
less than a year.
We think we found it. In less than a year, we think we have it. But this is it, right? Like there's a Zapruder aspect of this still goes on because what I'm saying, what I'm reporting is that this is what we believe was said. We have sources on this. This is the clubhouse leader at the very least. But like, I wasn't there. So this is, again, the humility of like reporting this story and where it does inevitably get back to the gossip. It's like, I believe this is what was said.
Yeah.
Based on every available piece of evidence, but without Jordan Poole and Draymond saying together in a joint press conference, this is why he punched me and why I said this, we are on some level limited as to the true knowledge of what lurks in the hearts of men, as they say.
The shadow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amin.
The couching of we're the leader in the clubhouse for finding it, which Pablo Torre believes he finds out is not as catchy of a title for your show. But I appreciate the journalistic care you took by, saying, I'm not saying this is exactly what was said, but we have a lot of sourcing that suggests that this is what was said. I will say that, Pablo, it is good to see you because at the end of the episode, you did put the ultimatum out there that if Jordan Poole and Draymond Green would like to come on to my podcast,
yes,
my show, for the record, say it once and for all what was said.
Yep.
You invited them to each punch you in the face.
That's right.
And I am looking journalistically right now. Amin, I can tell that Pablo's face looks unpunched, that there's no bruising.
I mean, let's just say the door's not closed yet.
Pablo, you have not gotten any sort of confirmation that Draymond and Jordan, you've not recorded a joint statement from them on Pablo Torre Finds Out.
As of this taping, correct.
Okay.
As of this taping, correct. The offer stands. I don't know if the Columbia School of Journalism is down for such offers, but I feel like it's an irresistible one. So help me find out again, please.
That's Pablo Torre of Pablo Torre Finds Out, the voice of Basketball Illuminati, the spirit on these journalistic scavenger hunts to get to the bottom of these stories. It is truly an honor to have you on the show. But Amin, why don't you take them out?
The door's that way.
Okay.
Thank you, Vin.
Oh, I have to show myself out. Okay.
Well, I just showed you where the door is.
Got it. This is how you treat the voice of Basketball Illuminati.
I mean, do you have any breaking news on the Jimmy Butler email thing?
Yep. I've been doing some journalism of my own, some truth telling of my own, trying to get to the bottom of just how long.
Ezra Edelman text?
Yeah. Shout out to Ezra Edelman. And I got confirmation that originally there was going to be a different concept, but they were worried about long-lasting damage to the hair as a result.
Whoa, Jimmy Butler
would have to go bald, yes, basically.
What's wrong with that?
Well,
what's wrong with going bald?
He looked too much like his dad, Michael Jordan.
Oh, man.
So instead, they said, oh, what if we did the Emo hair? And then when the trade happened, it was like, well, this makes too much sense. So there you have it.
Yeah, I guess a flat iron is less damaging than whatever else they were cooking up. What do we think that was?
I think like a conch or something.
A conch?
Yeah, like Malcolm X.
Oh, sorry. I'm very white.
Whoa,
Okay.
Two Americas. What the fuck?
Was that a conch shell that just happened? Or was that a whale sound? I don't know what that was.
That was Ron Burgundy giving the conch signal to Anchor Team Channel 7.
Assemble!
Assemble!
How many of our listeners have to go Google conch, C-O-N-K now?
I mean, I'm about to.
If I had Googled it, I would have said C-O-N-C-H.
Mm-hmm.
That's how white I am.
Yeah, it's not that one. Also, how many of our listeners are going to have to listen to Basketball Illuminati in a very different form, in a very different place starting next week?
All of them.
Yes.
Every single one. And let's save them a Google and tell them that we've been acquired in a blockbuster acquisition. It was back and forth all year, all summer, all off season.
Mm-hmm.
There's stock prices rising and falling.
Numbers in India.
Falsified reports. We've got a power struggle over here at Basketball Illuminati. Who's going to take over the company?
Wait, who is the Disgusting Brothers in this?
You.
Disgusting Brothers.
Definitely Tom. Definitely the married man with two lovely daughters is one of the Disgusting Brothers, not me out here living a single life in San Francisco.
Hold on, that makes you cousin Greg. You're tall and you're single and you're awkward.
He is my doppelganger, yes.
Yeah, and my name is Tom.
There you go. Amin somehow dodged out of the Disgusting Brothers conversation. But that's right. Next week, we will be on Oddball with Amino Hassan and Charlotte Wilder.
Yep.
We're going to cook up some new ideas for how this show is going to live on going forward, but continue to keep your third eye open, folks. We'll still be out there.
Yes.
The Illuminati never go away. It's always going to be out there. Even if you don't see us, we're there and we're watching and we're uncovering and truth-telling, connecting the dots always. But for the time being, it will be relegated to once a week on Oddball.
Oh, no, not relegated. Promoted.
Promoted. Yes.
Elevated.
How about this? We'll be concentrated in.
Yes.
Instead of being an hour long once a week, we're going to be, call it 10, 12 minutes once a week, but it's going to be laser focused on one topic.
Uncut, just pure.
Potent.
Pure Basketball Illuminati. Concentrated Illuminati.
Bolivian marching powder.
You're going to have to be careful ingesting this much truth at a time.
Might have to cut it with something. Maybe with the rest of Oddball.
Yeah.
An oddball? An 8-ball? No, an oddball of...
One last go around for puns. Let me look up emo bands for the third time today.
To all of the illumination out there, just because we are changing formats, you have to stay vigilant and keep your third eye open. This is not a goodbye. This is just, we are changing form a little bit. We love y'all, and keep your third eye open.
And don't unsubscribe from this feed. Do not unsubscribe from this feed. I cannot stress enough. It is very important you stay subscribed, because you never know when the Illuminati come back out of the shadows and rise again. But in the meantime, we'll be posting oddball episodes here.